Welcome back to another episode of Post Gym Thoughts, this time more like post Taylor Thoughts. I had to go to the seamstress, which is why I'm wearing the jacket, because I was wearing it, I was fitting it, I was feeling myself. I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and record. As a side note, gentlemen, I think having a tailor-fitted jacket, blazer, suit, whatever you want to call it, having one that is tailored to your exact dimensions definitely ups your style game. But this video is not about that. This video is purely about motivation, just like all other post-gym thought or just motivational content that I make here. It's strictly designed to have you in the right mindset to be able to conquer your day. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is the fact that whatever you think you're doing is not enough. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is a conversation that I had with myself, which just so happened to be due to proxy, because I had a conversation with my agent. So if you know anything about me, or if, let's say you're like someone that I know in real life and you're watching one of these videos, side note, hello. If you are one of those people, then you know that my modeling career started about 6 years ago. And throughout that time, I've worked with tons of different brands. I've worked with Doritos, Mountain Dew, Raycon, Zen Water. I could list them literally for the next 2 minutes, but there's no point in doing that. Needless to say, my portfolio is rather robust. Feel free to check out my website. I got 2 websites and my Instagram if you want to take a look at the photos. But needless to say, my profile is pretty robust. However, when I was talking to my agent, we were talking in relations to like landing the bigger gigs, like working for Ralph Lauren, Helmut Lang, things of that nature. And what he told me was, everything that you're doing right now is fine. You're getting work, you're getting booked, you're doing work for brands. It's cool. But if you want to hit that next level, I'm going to need a little bit more out of you. And now he didn't say it in such black and white. It came in the form of, you know, some action steps that I could take to bolster my portfolio and give myself a better chance when it comes to seeing casting directors, which I absolutely understand. And this is the message that I wanted to tell you. Because first of all, before I even get into the minutia of the conversation, I just want to say, although I don't know who you are, I can only imagine if you're watching content like this, might be me, might be other people. If you're watching content like this, I can only imagine that you're yearning for something. You're striving for a certain goal, so you're trying to work towards it, which is great. However, with all that said, be willing to accept the fact that you might need to work just a little bit harder to get to where you want to go. Now, when I was talking to my agent and he was telling me about the action steps, I asked him, I was like, well, is there anything I could do for my portfolio in regards to like test shoots and things of that nature that would give me a better edge in the meantime? And he's like, yeah, why not come in a suit? Why not come in athletic wear? Why not come in casual wear? And when he was saying those things, I noticed that I was solely focused on trying to get paid for doing the work that I do, but I wasn't necessarily focused on the length or how far this can go for me. And it took a lot of soul searching to kind of understand that and not necessarily convince myself that what I was doing is enough and perhaps he's just being myopic in his perspective, but giving myself the opportunity to really analyze and understand, hey, you know what? Maybe I should take this chance and go in this direction, do something with this piece of clothing or this rather, to give myself the best chance. And how or where does this make sense for you? Again, not sure what goals that you have or what you're trying to do, but you are trying to reach for something. You're trying to achieve some sort of goal. However, again, be real with yourself and understand that whatever you're doing, side note, sorry, I had to adjust my chair. Whatever you're doing, it's important to understand that it just might not be enough to get you where you want to be. Now, I'm not the type of person who is completely inundated with hustle culture. I like hustle culture. I like to hustle. I like to work. However, I don't think I need to be a robot and do this 24/7, 365. Of course, we could set up systems and parameters in place to ensure that things move, like content delivery, make sure those things move in a timely fashion. But that doesn't necessarily mean I need to be working every day. So part of it is, okay, what are the areas of improvement? And then where can we work smarter in order to further bolster our endeavors? However, none of that is possible if you think to yourself that what you're doing is sufficient. If where you are is sufficient to you and you're okay with it, then by all means, what you're probably doing is enough. But I can only imagine in the back of your mind, much like mine, you know there's another level you can go to. Meek Mill, aka Freak Mill, has a song called Levels. We all know the song. I'm not a big Meek Mill fan, but he's got a few good tracks here and there. So I know, especially with that Diddy situation, I don't know, it makes it kind of difficult listening to his music. But, you know, in the song Levels, the name itself, you know, just states that there are levels to the things that we want, right? It's always great to get in on the ground floor. But what about hitting the first floor, then the second floor, the third floor, the fourth floor, the fifth? If you want to make it to the top, you got to do the things that will get you to the top. If you want to stay at the floor that you're at right now, then by all means, that's okay. So long as you're okay with it, then whatever you're doing is fine. But if you want more, which in my personal opinion, I think every guy should strive to be their absolute best. And when I say absolute best, I mean it. I mean, literally become the best version of yourself, the richer version of yourself, the fitter version of yourself, the more astute version of yourself, the sharper version. Whatever that means for you, become that. Because our life is so finite, we can only pick so many things that we want to channel all of our energy into. But if we take that time to channel that energy into ourselves and work on these areas and work on these facets of our lives and our personality and what makes us us, we can then evolve into the greatest version of that and not only change our life in the process, but have the opportunity to change others and people that we love around us as well, which I think is pretty important. I mean, what is the point of being a high value male if you're not going to make an impact on other people's lives? Now, does that mean you have to do it how every other person before you has done it? No, not necessarily. In my perspective, I think that's partly what I'm doing here with this YouTube channel. You know, taking a moment to, in some way, give back, right? Whether that be through advice, products or services, or just entertainment with what content we have on the channel. Whatever you're doing is not enough. So long as you want to hit the pinnacle, the absolute pinnacle of your sport, what you do, whatever the case may be, you got to go a little bit harder. And I believe in you. We can do it. We're going to make it. I'm a small business owner myself. I have a fitness app, which has, you know, a couple of users, but obviously I want 1,000 users. I want 10,000 users. I want 100,000 users. I want 1,000,000 users. But the steps to get there are going to be different for each of those levels. The ultimate question is, am I willing to go through it? And I am. With all that being said, having the understanding that these things are not enough to get to where I want to be, that's remotivated me and reinvigorated my approach as to not only to modeling, but also for fitness as well. You are on your way to becoming the greatest version of yourself, but you absolutely, positively have to be willing to do the work and be willing to do the extracurricular activities that will help get you further as well. Beyond that, that's about it, man. Thank you so much for watching. Listen, guys, I'm trying to get to 10K. Do me a favor, leave a like, share, and subscribe. If you like the video, if you like the content, whether that be the motivational stuff, the dating relationship stuff, feel free to chime in. Let's create a community where we all can talk, elevate the conversation, and also motivate each other along the way as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out one of these other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.